All right. Let's get to the DBE in Natal. Yeah, what they were writing years back. Good, same thing. Good. Now you are given here the graphs of 1 over 2x squared minus 8 and g over x equal to negative, x minus 4. A and B are x-intercepts of the graph of f. So we see A and B. Here is A, here is B. These are x-intercept clearly because they are lying on the x-axis. Then we're saying D is the turning point of f. Here is D, the turning point. Okay, and then the graph of G meets F at B and E. This is what at B. The graph of G meets F at B and E. I think they meant A. This is supposed to be A. Good. They meet at A and E. Yes, this is not, it's not B, it's A. And then you have E, point E here. This is point E. Yes. C is the y-intercept of G. C is the y-intercept of G. Perfect. There's C. It's cutting through the y-axis. So everything is into order now. I can start answering the questions. Determine the coordinates of A, B, C, and D. Okay. A and B, I can find the coordinates of A and B. I know because they told me that they are x-intercepts and I can see them in the graph. So 3.1.1. I'm going to say x-intercept, right? The y value equals 0. Good. Now, in my equation, this is equation for A and B. Here's F. Here's the equation of F. So I equate in the place of y, I put 0. So I'm going to have 1 over 2 x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Then I solve the equation. 1 over 2 x squared is equal to 8, right? Then I multiply by what? 2 over 1. Multiply by 2 over 1. I'm doing this so I can eliminate that. So I have x squared being equal to 16. Now I square both sides, square root both sides, plus minus, of course. So the value of x is 4, or it's a negative 4. The plus and minus there. So I put them in coordinates. So it's 4 is to 0, then negative 4 is to 0. The coordinates now, I need to decide which one takes the negative. So if I can see A, it's on the negative side of the x-axis. B is on the positive side. So this is going to be A, then this is going to be B. I get to C now. They told me C is something. C is the y-intercept of G. Y-intercept of G. So my focal point now it's G. What I know about G is a straight line, right? So there's very important things that I need to consider. And always remember mx plus c. C is the constant, right? Yes, I know that it's a constant. However, the most important thing to know that is it is the y-intercept of the graph. When you see C, just know that you are given the y-intercept of the function. And then M we know that is the gradient. What does this entail? It means that if I have y is equal to negative 2x plus 4, the y-intercept of this graph, is 0 is to positive 4. This 4 coming from here. So let's get back here. We are given the equation. So clearly the y-intercept that's given here, negative 4. So the coordinates of C is going to be 0 is to negative 4. Then D, they said something about D. turning point of Earth. Now, let us again look at this function here, turning point of parabola. Important elements for the parabola. Y is equal to ax squared plus q. Now, turning point of the function, right? The turning point, it's determined by, and this is for caps in the 10th grade, right? 0 is to q, meaning your turning point is the same as the y-intercept. So your y-intercept turning point, same, they share the same coordinates. So if I'm having y is equal to negative 3x squared minus, oh, plus 27. Good. My turning point, it's going to be 0 is to value of q. Good. 27. Sharp. Now, getting back to my question, it means that the coordinates of d is going to be 0 is to this value here, value of q, which is negative 8. Lovely, lovely. Getting to my marks there. I get 2 marks. 2 marks here. 2 marks there. 2 marks for the coordinates. 2 marks for the coordinates of the turning point. That is full 8 marks. Then I get to my second question. The length of CD. Looking at CD, let me put the points that I found. C was -4. This was -8. This was +4. This is -4. Good. Now, the length of CD, if I look at CD, CD is a vertical distance. So for the vertical distance, I need to know my dimensions. So for vertical distance, the distance will be equal to y value at the top minus the y value at the bottom, right? So if I'm dealing with a horizontal distance, I'm going to say my distance will be equal to the x value on the right, on the left, minus the x value on the right. This is always the case. If I'm calculating distance, however, if it's a diagonal, we'll speak about something else. But in this case, I'm having a vertical distance. So the length of CD is going to be, which one is at the top? The y value of C minus the y value at D. That's the distance. So this will be equal to -4 minus -8, which this is going to give me a +4. Please be careful and don't avoid making errors like this where you say this is going to be -12, right? Careful substitution. That is why I'm using the brackets, because there's negatives involved. Negative times negative, it's a positive, then makes a +8 minus 4, giving me a +4. Or you can just use a calculator. I mean, I know educators say don't use it, but to check after, use a calculator to check for your answers. And then we go to the third equation. They say determine the equation of k of x if k of x is the same as negative f of x. So what I simply do is I substitute, right? So they're saying k of x is the same as negative f of x. I know f of x. So k of x will be equal to negative. What is f of x? Here is f of x. What's in here? The equation. So I simply substitute that. So I'm gonna have half x squared minus 8. And then the negative affects both terms. Please, the negative affects both terms. So I'm gonna have negative 1 over 2x squared plus an 8. There you go. Full 2 marks. 1, 2. 2 marks here. Substitution and the final answer. That would be it for this session. We'll do a second part of this question 3 from KZN, which deals with the hyperbola and the exponential function.